Hey guys and gals, Malkuth 1974 back at you with another episode of our Kerbal Space program playing the Kerbalism mod. We're back. So, between episodes, I've launched a few more missions to the moon. I've gotten us some more science here, some more money. I'm probably gonna flash some stuff up there on the screen, some flashbacks to the moon landing I did, the second moon landing I did, and all that awesome stuff, just to show you guys some of the stuff I did off camera, because I don't want to keep doing the same missions over and over every video. So today we're going to go to Minmus, and let's actually take a look at, no, first, we need to spend the science first, because we're going to probably do some modifications here to our nice little vessel here. So we got 632, and oh, I also installed a mod, and thank you to, you know what, I'm gonna actually, let me actually get the name of the person that did this for I actually get this right. All right, so the guy that gave me the idea to find this mod, the mod is called Hide Empty Tech Tree Nodes. He didn't actually give me the names. I don't use CCAN, so I just install all my mods manually. But he told me to look on CCAN, but I pretty much just kind of searched for the nodes things. I found it, so it's called Hide Empty Tech Tree Nodes. The guy that told me about it was Syria, so thank you. I don't know if I pronounced your name right, but I tried. So anyway, what are we gonna grab? So we have some of these. It's not going to help us in a current mission. I almost think we have to almost grab these, which will bring us up to our all of our second tier stuff. I still don't want airplane stuff. Don't really need that. I do want the Mark 1 lander can, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And we do want the docking port junior, because that will open up something else for us. And we can't grab anything in the heavy rocketry yet because we don't have the capability. We gotta buy into it. I almost want to open up the protective shells, so we'll kind of buy into that. And what we got left? 272. I can almost buy two more things. Still staying away from that. We got the 2.5 heat shield. Well, why the heck not? And you know what? We'll just buy this anyway. Oh, I could actually just buy the rest of this. We gotta open it up anyway. So anyways, the hide, what that does is that gets rid of all of the nodes that do not have anything assigned to them. So it so now I don't have any of those weird nodes that have nothing in them, and it's much more easy to get to stuff and use stuff and do stuff. So we got that part done. Second part I want to try out was, what did I got Explore Minmus as an operation. I do have the launch of the Voskot. That's 2 Kerbals. That's why we grabbed that extra pod thing there. And we do have the put Kerbal in orbit for 30 days. I think I'm going to combine these two, the Explore Minmus and the 30-day one, to we'll do that with the guy that's going into Minmus. And the Voskot 2 is going to be something we're going to have to do separate, but we can pick up some other stuff. Let's see. We're not going back to the moon yet. I could try getting rid of something, see if it pops up. I'm kind of looking for the docking one. Oh, did I just take that? Darn it, I didn't want to do that. What does it want us to do? I didn't mean to pick that up. I hit the wrong button. Orbit around the moon. Really? You're not even worth it. I'll just keep it open for now. I don't see it. What I was looking for was... Oh, we do got the Tyros too. Okay, that's cool. Well, I guess we won't have it. I'm not going to sit there all day looking for it. So anyways, let's pick up our vessel. The vessel has gone through a few updates. So what was it? The Triton Mark III. Right there, Triton Mark III. What I've done is I've kind of shortened things. This is the last one to go to the moon. I've shortened things up a little bit here. I took, remember, it had the tapered part there before. I kind of took that out, and I've done some other modifications, added some more engines. We saw some of that stuff. And did we get anything new that I could use here that I might want to use instead of that? We do have the cryogenic engines, but I don't think I have any of the cryogenic tanks. You can change them, but whatever. I won't get into it too much. We do have the Clampatron. We do have the stream. So 2 missions that we can do today, the ones that were in here. So we're going to kind of do this consecutively. Undersized signals, those are like, that's huge, so we can't quite add that to a ship. We do have the RPS antenna on now. I did add it for our last mission. And you know, we could add the mass spectrometry tube. That'll give us some more extra science. I'll put that right there. There's really nothing else. I could use the ionized chamber for when we're in space. I'm trying to get as much science as we can possibly get at this point, because we are going to Minmus. All right. I added some lights here to help brighten up. I noticed in some of my other videos that it was getting really dark. It's really hard to see stuff. So unfortunately, that's a side effect of YouTube. It doesn't look that dark on my side, but when it gets to you guys, it does look like that. So I think we're going to bring Jebediah this time. And we're going to go to Minmus. We're going to get on the way to Minmus. And while we're on the way to Minmus, we're going to do some other stuff. Get ready for another mission, which we have to, the Voshkov mission, which we're going to launch 2 Kerbals into space, which means I have to design a whole new vessel. So going to Minmus is very similar to going to, don't do that, going to the moon. It's the same idea. And so that's Minmus. I'm going to set it as target. We want it on the horizon. It might already be there. It looks like it is. It's basically, wow. How did that happen? It's not quite there. You kind of want it like almost on the horizon, kind of like that. And then put like that. We'll give ourselves all the way engines, and I will launch. And off we go. Still have a slow start, but it's not too bad. This thing does have a lot of power now, so it does drive pretty good. Oh, I'm getting pinched. My chair is pinching me. My chair is battling us. Look at that, yeah. I like it. Oh, look at that. The moon coming up. Gotta love it. Oh, I forgot to take my turn, my gravity turn here. Oops. I was too enthralled with the moon coming up. Now that's going to kind of mess things up a little bit, but we'll survive. We're going to Minmus anyway. We're not looking for a perfect orbit in Kerbin anyway, or Kerbal. Drop those. Ooh, whoa! That has a lot of control to it. Look at that. Alright, so you guys know, we're going to get to space here in a second, so there's a critical part that we have to do when we want to get to Minmus, and I'm going to jump to that right now so we don't waste too much time watching the same thing over and over, so I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, I'm back. So, obviously Minmus is a lot farther away than the moon. But the thing about Minmus, for you new guys out there to remember, is that Minmus, unlike the moon, has a very small gravity field, which means it costs you like 500 delta V to land on the moon, where it probably only going to cost you 120 to land on Minmus. So if you're landing on the moon, you almost certainly can always land on Minmus as long as you do your stuff right. Minmus is also at an inclination. It's hard to see here, but the inclination, you can see it now. So the moon is inclined with Kerbin, but Minmus is not. You can see how it says DN right there. That is the actual descending node in the degree of difference. In this case, it's 6-degree difference from what Kerbin is. So what I've done is, just like the moon, I've come up to a point where I've brought out my AP almost to the line where the orbit of Minmus is. What I'm going to actually do right now, while we're still here, is kind of extend it to the actual line, almost right to it, just like that. So what we have to actually do now, and unfortunately, we're not getting a DN line over here, which is, I might have already passed it. I did actually. I wasn't paying attention. The ascending node we wanted to actually make the change on, but I can't quite do it now because I was waiting for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down a little bit. You can see how I'm coming down with the thing. I kind of went by it a little bit, so I'm going to actually bring it up a little bit. Just like that. And I'm also going to extend this a little bit. See how we're getting close? And now I just got an encounter with Minmus. We're at 409, 367, 267. I'm going to go with that for right now. And I'm going to actually set this node up before we miss it. We got less than 32 seconds. So again, so you have to make an inclination change to get to Minmus. You can't just fly straight towards it like you do on the moon. So that, as long as you remember that, you should be able. You could still launch on the horizon just like you do with the moon, like I showed you in the last couple episodes. You do the same exact thing with Minmus, and you'll get there. It's quite awesome. So I got literally only 33.5 meters per second to learn off here, so I'm just gonna kind of do it as quick as I can. There we go. I think I got it. I did. We're at 461. I'm actually gaining now, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. So there we go. I have got a course with Minmus. You know what I didn't actually do? And I always do this. I don't know why I forget about this. I got what? How long is it gonna take us to get out there? That's 13 days. I forgot to check the food. I always do this. I got 20 days. 20 days. 43 days. I should have put more food into the capsule. So that's my fault. I keep forgetting to do this stuff. I'm trying to get the videos out, unfortunately. So it's kind of 13 days, 20 days, 22 minutes. This is going to be one of those tricky things. Tricky. How long can you live without food? So that's another thing you gotta do. If you got a mod like Kerbalism, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to make sure you have the food. Remember, I had enough food on here to add more because I actually took some out because we didn't need quite so much for Kerbin, and I wanted to do the 30-day thing, and I completely forgot. But I'm not gonna go back on it now. We got 13 days here, 10 days here. I can't really cut anything off because if I do I will barely miss it. I could do a flyby. I won't be able to land this time, which is fine. We'll take our hit here. So that's on the way. So let's go to what I want to do for the second mission. We'll go back to the Space Center. That will do its own thing. It'll get there. We got 10 days to remember to get there. I should have put a thing on there, but I'm not completely worried about it because we'll do this in less than a day, maybe 2 days. So the next one we want to actually kind of accomplish today is the Voshkov. Now we need to make an orbiter that has 2 Kerbals in it. And as you know, we only have an orbiter. We'll cut this out. We'll go new. That has 1. The Mark 1 command pod only has 1. But we also have the Mark 1 lander can. So what I like to do is I like to make these things 2, and it extends it. That's not the lander can. Lander can. I knew the lander can was a little bit bigger. So there you go. That's the lander can. Now the next thing we got to make sure is that our thermo is correct. That won't fit right because we'll still have problems with that. But the 2.5 should be plenty. Should be plenty, I should say. And the next thing we want to do is make sure that we have, I think the payload, I only have 1.25, yeah. So there's not much I'm going to be able to do with that. But what I can do is kind of cheat the system here. Let me see if I can get this to go right. Nope. Nope. It only comes out so far, so. God, that looks terrible. That does look terrible. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I'm not even gonna worry about that then. Okay, pull that out. Pull that back in. So much more difficult when you got re-entry to worry about. Let's see. If I had the 2.5 of this, I'd be all set, but I don't, so we're not. Well, I'm just gonna go with the flow, I guess, and kind of go with that. Let me see if I can get. I don't really have any 2.5. I do, but we really don't want to go that route. Let me grab the coupling. Oh gosh, that looks terrible. All right, so there is another option here. If we don't want to use the trash can there, we could use. Let's go up here. Another one of these. And then I could most likely use the 1.5 can thing here and kind of give it that secondary shell. Just like that. Now we can hold 2 Kerbals in that. And hopefully also drop this and grab an aerodynamic thingy. No, I was looking for the heat. There we go. 1.25. And that would hopefully protect everything. Hopefully. I'm hoping, and hopefully it does. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the rest of this thing, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I changed things around a little bit. So we're putting these guys up in space. It's going to be 2 guys. We're going to switch this to being the 30-day mission. So I've added enough stuff for my food to give them a duration of 59 days, 5 hours. I made sure that we have water. Oxygen is 49 days. Nitrogen is always plenty, etc., etc. So this will be a nice income. Again, I added, this is basically a food storage right here. I kind of took some of it out because I didn't need all the days. And I did add some oxygen here, some small pressurized tanks. You can change these to anything you want. While we're here, I might as well go over a little bit of something else. We don't have to worry about radiation being in Kerbin's actual ionosphere because we'll be well protected. We're not going much higher than 80 kilometers anyway. But if you ever need, if you look down here, shielding will add shielding to your ship, but it also adds a lot of weight, and it also adds, doesn't really add money. I thought it added money. I guess not. But it usually adds, you know, a lot more weight, and the shielding will help protect your Kerbals from radiation. But right now, the way we're basically flying these missions is that they're not really staying in space long enough to be affected by radiation. It's the same idea as what they did with the Apollo. It was like, one of those things. You know, if they had a corona flat flare or something like that during the Apollo missions, it probably would not have been very good for the Apollo astronauts. But they pretty much planned around that, and the same goes with this. I should say that you do get those with they're random, but you do get the corona flares for this, which like triples the amount of radiation or something like that you get while it's in the Kerbin. You know, if it's in Kerbin's sphere of influence while it's going on, but we haven't seen one yet, and we haven't been really have to worry about it. So on this one, we're going to send Valentina, and we're going to send one of our first scientists up there. We're going to send Bob up there with her. hopefully everything works here. Let me check out the engineer to make sure we have everything. It says hatch is obstructed. That's okay because that's just our secondary stuff. We have unused food resources, which is fine. Unused, I don't think it really reads what those are. Unused water, unused nitrogen, unused atmosphere resources, unused monopropellant. We don't have anything that we need the monopropellant on here for, other than when we do EVAs and stuff like that. Not a big deal. So the engineer's report, if you guys ever want to know if your ship is safe for space, this will tell you. It says it's hatch obstructed. That's just this right here. I must have, yeah, I do. I have that over that. So that's not a big deal. I'm not even worried about that. So there we go. We're gonna launch this. Get this into space. You're gonna spend 30 days in space. We're gonna finish that mission thing, and then we're gonna kind of go back to getting our guy over Minmus, bring him back, and then hopefully finish this mission. We do have parachutes. I have a parachute up there, plus I have 2 more of the same type of Mars parachutes, but they're only the side ones there. So hopefully this thing takes off and we do okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hopefully. Looking good so far. Let's get this guy up there. I'll just do the, the first few seconds of the launch just to make sure that we're okay, and then I'll jump up to space when we are like orbiting or getting into orbit, and hopefully we'll do all right there. I think I'm gonna start my gravity turn at. See, this is a new ship, so I don't know when I should start it, but I'm gonna go for 80 again. That's a good safe number. And the only reason I go and I say that with a lot of interest, is that you don't want to do your gravity turn. I mean, I've seen people do it. They do it like right off the start, but you don't really want to do your gravity turn too early, because if your prograde is dropping too fast, that means that you're going to have to start leveling out with the planet. I'm going to have to follow it too fast, and you won't get the height that you need to get out in the atmosphere. Now, I always say that if you start seeing a ship burning up, leaving the atmosphere, that's usually a bad sign. It's not a terrible sign, but if you do it too much, you will start losing things and stuff will start exploding. So you do want to kind of get over that envelope there. We're going to lose these engines. There we go. We still have plenty of speed. I'm at 23. This is actually a pretty good ascent profile that we got going here, and you can tell I still have. By the way, those engines that we just dropped kept fueling these. I didn't know if you guys saw that, but I had one of the fuel lines connected to here that the outside kept fueling these up for it wouldn't go down, and now that's why we have almost a full tank. It was full before I started talking, but you guys get the picture anyway. We're at 26. 28. So once you get to about 26, 28, you can easily level off your spacecraft and not worry about going out of control, because now you're not quite fighting all that energy anymore. Remember, we have 2 Kerbals in here. One's in here and one's down here in this pod. I do not want to launch this, so I'm going to actually kind of flip those around here. The only thing I am a little bit concerned about is hopefully this thing won't have any issues re-entering. These shields usually these aero protective things usually do pretty well at protecting the pod, so I'm pretty sure we'll be alright. If not, we're going to have 2 cooked Kerbals. Hopefully not, though. Alright, so I want to get to space, I'm going to get in orbit, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, look at that. We're in orbit, and now we will start our 30-day trial. Hopefully it's not counting on something else. No, it's not. So the Voskhod's in there. Exit your vehicle. We gotta do it. We do have to do an EVA for the Voskhod, because that was technically it's for the first EVA. So who's in here? Let's see. Valentina. So she can EVA without any issues. She do an EV report. I just like to check to make sure. So she'll reboard. Now the next part of the mission is actually land on there. And we still have put a Kerbal in orbit for 30 days. That is running right now. So we're not worried about that. We got actually 2 Kerbals in space. So hopefully that'll go good. So let's jump to where... So in the time it took for our little vessel to get from here to here, we got another... Well, you know, you get it. That's just how Kerbal is. That wouldn't really work that way in real life. So let's get our guy to Minmus, which, if we know correctly, will take a complete 20 days. But since we messed up the mission anyway, I didn't bring enough food with me. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, boy. So you know what I did on this one, right? These poor fellows are going to run out of batteries. Well, I guess we're not going to be able to do the 30-day mission. I keep trying to get these missions done, and in the time I can do them, let me look at what they actually have. They have almost 0, so we need to hopefully these engines will help us out here to gain us some more energy, but I need to get our periapsis down to 8. Then I need to lose this. Then I need to make sure that our vessel is coming down there. Did I gain any? No, I did not. We are going to lose power. Oh no. This is not a good sign. See my electric charge? We're down to almost 0. We're probably going to lose these Kerbals because I screwed up. I forgot to put solar panels on this thing. Alright. Well, that's the price you pay for not paying attention. Yep. Yep. That means I can't move the pod anymore. It's all out of energy. So we lost our first 2 Kerbals because I screwed up. I don't think this thing will have enough energy to fall back down into a correct orbit. It won't. Darn it. 2 Kerbals dead. Bob and Valentina. I am such an idiot. I tried to do 2 missions at the same time. It went sour. Oh yeah, these guys are gonna burn up so bad. So bad. Like I say, I have no control over this. Maybe it will pop back in. It might not. I can't tell for sure. It looks like it's wanting to weave that way, which is not a good thing. You can already see how things are starting to heat up here. And we're on fire. Well, and the only thing that might save this thing is the fact that it's wobbling. If it steadies itself, I don't even think I can do the parachutes, to be honest. If it manages to steady itself, which I don't think it's... Oh, it's going to steady itself. I'm just kind of fast time warping it. We are going faster. How are we going faster? So we're going to lose... Most likely lose these. I can't get these things to go... I can't make it wobble. Ugh. I'm gonna watch Kerbals go boom boom. Because I forgot the electric stuff. I thought I checked this. It never said anything about electricity. Remember? I did the check on it. Where's your electricity? I basically have not slowed down. My surface speed is now finally starting to slow down. This thing is absolutely going to disintegrate. The pod or something, I believe this is the pod. So Valentina is going to go first. This is like depressing. This is like depressing. I'm like at 24, 23, 22. Now my surface speed starts coming down, but it's gonna be too late. I can't believe the pod's gonna explode before the parachute. That's ridiculous. See how close it is right here? Bye, Valentina. Once that goes... Oh, boy. Bob might survive. I don't know. Oh, boy. Nope, nobody survived. All dead. Everybody's gone. Crap. All right, so let's end that on a sad note. We got to go back to our next mission, which is see if we can continue this. I keep messing up way too much. I got to start concentrating on what I'm doing in this game because why didn't that switch? You're not gonna let me switch? Really? Because it's a moving... It's so stupid. Cannot switch. Alright. Alright, I'll be back when I get to that vehicle. Actually, guys, I just noticed that I'm out of time. It's 31 minutes into the thing. We'll continue our little adventure here next time. So until next time, guys, this is MalkaNauts 1974 on a somber note. We just lost 2 Kerbalisms because of my stupidity. Because I'm an idiot. And, well, that's what happens when you try to make stuff on the fly. You're probably wondering why I didn't do the revert thing. Because I've already done it once, and I didn't want to do it again. Lesson learned. Now I guess I won't do it next time, will I? So, until next time, guys, it's MalkaNauts 1974. We'll see you later. MalkaNauts, out of here.